All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Today, we have a topic called financial success. Now, what I'm going to do here today is go over some of the five basic principles that you need to know in order to obtain financial success. Now, the first point I want to talk about is why you should not save your money in a bank. Now, why is that important? Because right now, today, and it's been this way in a long time, okay, there's banks that are all over the United States and the world, and they are a business, okay? If you haven't recall that they give loans out, they purchase properties, and there's a lot of other things that they do on the back end that you don't see, but it's all from your money. So every time you put your money in the bank, it goes to the greater number that they have, and then they on the back end invest it in more uh, guaranteed money that they would get back to to obtain more revenue. Okay, so with that being said, they're profiting off of your dollars. Now, why is it not good for you to put your money in the bank for you? Well, for the simple fact that when you put your money in the bank, the interest rates are so low that you're not getting a return on the money that you're putting in your savings account. So, what does that mean? Well, if you put $100 in your savings account right now, and let's say in the future that $100 become $98. Now, typically when you put your money in the bank, you put it in there in your savings account to save your money and possibly earn a little interest or earn interest on top of that to allow your money to work for you. Well, what happens is you have the society and the world in which we live in, and then you have your money. Okay. The world in which we live in constantly, cost of living and things like that constantly go up and up and up. And then your money stays stagnant. So by the time when you pull your money out, it is less value than what it was when you put it in. So that's why you need to invest your money into a account, which will go into our next topic, is a compounding interest account. Okay. Now, what is compounding interest, right? You may have heard of this term before. Well, compound interest is when the interest on a loan or deposit is calculated based on both the initial principal and the accumulated interest from the previous periods, thought to be originated in the 17th century. Okay, compound interest can be thought as an interest on interest and will make a sum grow at a faster rate than simple interest. Okay, which is calculated only on a principal amount. Okay, the rate at which compound interest occurs depends on the frequency of the compounding, such as the higher the number of compounding periods, the greater the compound interest. Thus, the amount of compound interest occur on $100 compound at 10% annually will be lower than that on 100 compounding at or compounded at 5% semi-annually over the same period of time, because the interest on interest effect can generate increasingly positive returns. Based on the initial principal amount, compounding has sometimes been referred to as the miracle of compound interest. Now, when you look at that, okay, this is not your traditional savings account, okay? There are some institutes out there or banks that offer compounding interest accounts. Most of them are usually like brokerage accounts. Some companies within the brokerage firms offer compounding interest based off of an investment. Um, Another one out there, whenever you get like insurance, I know you've heard of this, like whole life insurance. The money that you put into that turns into cash value, and there is interest that is being paid on top of the money that has been invested. And you can then later borrow against that. That is another form. And there is other companies that do large pool investment funds that allows you to invest in real estate, so on, for a certain period of time, and you can put your money into that fund, and then it will grow with all the other compounding amounts that are available, and then you would get a return on the amount that you invested at a higher rate, and the interest is paid maybe once, or I wouldn't say once, but twice, up to 4 times a year quarterly, as opposed to being paid annually one time at a bank. So this is a important point in which what you do with your money. Now, this leads to the next topic that we're going into, which is the third point of financial success, is the rule of 72. Okay, the rule of 72. What does this mean? Well, the rule of 72 is a quick, useful formula that is popularly used to estimate the number of years required to double the interest money at a given annual rate of return. Alternatively, it can compute the annual rate of compounded return from an investment given how many years it will take to double the investment. Okay. While calculators and spreadsheets programs like Microsoft Excel have functions to accurately calculate the precise time required to double the investment money, the Rule 72 comes in handy for mental calculations to quickly gauge an appropriate value. For this reason, the Rule of 72 is often taught to beginning investors as it is easily to comprehend and calculate. The Security and Exchange Commission, SEC, also cites the Rule of 72 in grade level financial literacy resources. Now, what does this mean? Well, for one, it is important as an investor, as a person who is saving their money in a compounding interest account, it is important to know what you or your goals are, what you are expecting to gain from your investment, and at what rate and how quick that you want a return on the money that you invested. So that's where the Rule of 72 comes in, where you must have some form of calculating software to where you could take the money that you have that are going to be invested, you get the rate in which your investment is paid interest. And then you also factor in the amount in which you are depositing and at what rate will you reach your financial goal or the financial outcomes that you are expecting to reach or get. So this is important to understand, know your calculations, which is called the Rule of 72. Now, this will conclude part one of financial literacy to financial success of this video. Stay tuned for the next part two on financial literacy to financial success. And what we're going to talk about in that video will be the rule of 10-20. Okay. There's another rule, as well as the rule of 50-30-20. In part two, we're going to go over those rules, and I'm going to break down to you exactly what this means and how you can apply it in your financial success, your spending, as well as in order to maintain with this changing that we have. And not to mention one of the main reasons and why this is important, because we're at this point have a high rate of inflation. Well, once again, thank you for watching this video. Please share it. And if you have not subscribed, please click the subscribe button and stay tuned for our next video. Thank you and have a great day.